The loudest sound in the world isn't a scream. It isn't an explosion or a crash. The loudest sound in the world is the silence of a man who has finally decided he is done. It is the sound of a phone that no longer lights up. It is the sound of a notification that never arrives. It is the sound of a void where a person used to be. You walked away and you didn't look back. You didn't leave a trail of breadcrumbs. You didn't leave the door cracked open just an inch. You closed it, locked it, and took the key with you. And right now, she thinks she's the one who escaped. She thinks she's the one who won, but she has no idea that she has just stepped into a psychological trap of her own making. She is about to enter a dark room with no windows, and the walls are going to start closing in, one stage at a time. At first, she feels like she's breathing for the first time in months. This is the first stage. It's the stage of false freedom. She's sitting on her couch, scrolling through her phone, and she realizes there are no arguments waiting for her. No long paragraphs explaining why you're hurt. No missed calls she has to explain away. She feels a rush of adrenaline. She calls her friends. She tells them she's finally free. She puts on her favorite dress, the one you always liked, and she goes out. She posts a story on Instagram. She's smiling. She's laughing. She wants the world to see that she is thriving without you. She tells herself that you were the weight dragging her down. She convinces herself that the air is cleaner now that you're gone. But this isn't peace. It's an anesthetic. She's numb, and the numbness feels like happiness. She's convinced that you're at home, staring at your ceiling, crying over old photos. She's certain that at any moment your name will pop up on her screen. She's waiting for the ego boost of your desperation. She's waiting for you to beg. And because she's so sure you will, she feels powerful, but the clock is ticking and the silence is starting to settle in the corners of her room. Then comes the second stage. It's the itch, the curiosity. A week has passed, maybe two. The excitement of the single life is starting to wear off. The nights out are becoming repetitive. The drinks taste a little more bitter. She wakes up on a Sunday morning and the house is too quiet. She picks up her phone, no messages. She checks her social media. You haven't viewed her stories. You haven't liked her photos. She goes to your profile, her heart racing just a little bit. She expects to see something, a sad song, a quote about heartbreak, a picture of you looking miserable, but there's nothing. Or worse, there's a photo of you doing something productive. You're at the gym. You're out with friends she doesn't know. You're smiling, and it doesn't look forced. A tiny seed of doubt is planted in her mind. She wonders if you're pretending. She wonders if you're doing this just to get a reaction out of her. She's still convinced she's the center of your universe, but for the first time, she notices that the planet isn't orbiting quite right. She thinks to herself, he'll reach out tomorrow. He's just playing a game. She's still in control, or so she thinks. But tomorrow comes and goes, and the day after that. Now she's in the third stage. This is where the confusion turns into a low-grade fever. The ego is a fragile thing, and hers is starting to crack. She starts asking herself questions she never thought she'd have to ask. Was I that easy to forget? Was our time together just a footnote in his life? Why isn't he fighting for me? She expected a war. She expected you to beat down her door and plead for a second chance. She prepared her speeches. She knew exactly how she was going to reject you, or how she was going to make you work for it. But you didn't show up to the battlefield. You didn't even send a scout. You just vanished, and that is terrifying to her. It's terrifying because if you aren't chasing her, it means she isn't the prize anymore. And if she isn't the prize, then what is she? She starts to reread your old messages, looking for clues. She looks for the moment you stopped caring. She's trying to solve a puzzle, but she's missing half the pieces because you took them with you when you left. By the fourth stage, the anger begins to fade and the nostalgia begins to bleed through. This is the haunting. It's a song on the radio that you used to sing. It's the smell of a specific coffee shop. It's a joke she wants to tell, but realizes there's no one who will get it. Her brain is a traitor. It starts filtering out the bad memories. It forgets the fights. It forgets the coldness. It only remembers the way you looked at her when you woke up. It remembers the way you held her hand in the car. It remembers the safety you provided. The highlight reel starts playing in her head on a loop, and she can't find the remote to turn it off. She starts to feel a physical ache in her chest. It's a dull, heavy pressure. She's not just missing a boyfriend, she's missing a piece of her identity. She realizes that your presence wasn't a burden, it was an anchor. And now that the anchor is gone, she's drifting into deep, dark water. She considers texting you. She types out a message. I saw something today that reminded me of you. She stares at it for 20 minutes. Her thumb hovers over the send button. But she's afraid. She's afraid of the silence that might follow. She's afraid that if she sends it and you don't reply, she will officially be the one who lost. So she deletes it. But the thought stays. Then comes the fifth stage, the regret. This isn't the light regret of a missed opportunity. This is the soul-crushing realization that she broke something that cannot be fixed. She starts to look at the men around her, the ones in her DMs, the ones at the bar. She realizes they are hollow. They don't know her. They don't care about her dreams. They don't know how she likes her steak or why she's afraid of the dark. They just want a piece of her. You wanted all of her. You saw the messy, difficult, complicated parts of her, and you stayed. You were consistent. You were a man of your word. And she treated that like it was a given. She treated your devotion like it was an infinite resource, and she just found out the well is dry. She starts to see her own behavior with terrifying clarity. She sees her selfishness. She sees her games. She realizes that she pushed a good man until he reached his breaking point. And then she acted surprised when he actually broke. The guilt starts to settle in her bones. It makes her tired. She goes to bed early just to stop thinking, but you're in her dreams too. The sixth stage is the desperation. This is the breaking point. The silence has become a physical weight that she can no longer carry. She can't eat. She can't focus. She's checking her phone every 30 seconds. She's checking your last seen status. She's looking at your friends' profiles to see if you're in the background of any photos. She's looking for any sign of life. She decides she doesn't care about her pride anymore. She doesn't care about the rules. She needs to know if the door is still locked. She sends the text. It's usually something small, something accidental. Hey, I think I left my charger at your place. Or, I just wanted to say I'm sorry for how things ended. But behind those simple words is a scream for help. She is drowning, and she's reaching for your hand. She's waiting. 1 minute passes. 5. An hour. The delivered icon is there, but there are no typing bubbles. No response. The silence is back, and this time, it's deafening. It's the sound of a final judgment. She realizes that you aren't playing a game. You aren't trying to punish her. You have simply moved on. You have built a world that doesn't include her, and there is no room left for her to crawl back in. Finally, the seventh stage. Acceptance mixed with permanent loss. This is the stage that lasts a lifetime. The intensity of the pain fades into a dull, permanent scar. She moves on. She dates other people. She might even get married. But there is a room in her heart that is forever cold. It's the room where your memory lives. Whenever she meets someone new, she secretly compares them to you. She looks for your integrity in them. She looks for your strength. And when she doesn't find it, she feels that old familiar sting. She realizes that she didn't just lose a relationship. She lost the best version of herself. She lost the woman she was when she was with you. She learns to live with the what ifs. What if I had been more appreciative? What if I hadn't let my ego run the show? What if I had just listened? But the questions have no answers. They are just echoes in an empty hallway. You see, no contact isn't about revenge. It isn't about being cruel. It's about the truth. It's about the fact that your presence is a gift, and when that gift is disrespected, it must be withdrawn. By walking away, you didn't just save your own life, you gave her the only thing that could ever force her to grow, the consequences of her own actions. You became the ghost that haunts her because you had the courage to be the man who wouldn't be trifled with. You are no longer a character in her story. You are the author of your own. And as she sits in that silence, wondering where you are and who you're with, you are miles away, walking into a future that she was never meant to see. You are at peace, and that is the ultimate victory. The man who can walk away and never look back is the man who truly owns himself. And once you own yourself, you realize you never needed her to see your value in the first place. You knew it all along, and now finally so does she. But it's too late. The silence has spoken, and it said everything it needed to say.